All right, so we're going to run two saws for you today. Neither one is known to be a high performer, but coming from me, they're going to be performing a bit better than what they do from the factory. Let me show you what we're going to do, and we're going to get into this. So what do you say we see just how much power we've got out of these two saws, even though they're not known to be a great performing saw. Alrighty, let me show you the two saws. Okay, up first here we got a Husqvarna 55 Rancher. This is a high compression build, well over 200 pounds of compression. We're gonna make some cuts on it. It is an open port cylinder, you know, it's pretty much what you'd expect to see. It is a Warhawk, it's even one of the cheap Warhawk cylinders and pistons. So, you know, we're going to take a look at what kind of power this thing is producing. And we're going to take a look at this Husqvarna 61 that I just finished building. It is also an open port cylinder, not known to be a high performing saw. And we're going to take a look at how much power it has. We're going to check them both out. That way you get kind of an idea, because the 55 Rancher, the 55, is running a lot more compression than this one. Now we could probably get more out of this one, but for the purpose of what it's being ran for, this is the type of build we went with. So we're going to go ahead and make a couple of cuts and see how they're performing. But first, let me take you over here to the workbench. I'll give you a real quick speedy tour of the workbench so you can see where I do all my work, and maybe y'all can get a couple of ideas, or maybe you can give me a couple of suggestions of things that I can do to make things a little more efficient. Alrighty, so here, real quick tour. So here you go. She's a mess, but here's a quick tour. We got the bench grinder here. We got the belt sander. This is where I do, you know, all my bar work, and you know, we use bench grinders for everything. But as you can see, she's a little bit of clutter. I put this little 2x12 up, threw a vise on it for whatever I might need it for. Got some chain braking, chain spinner, and all that kind of stuff. This is where the chains are going to get put together on this side of the bench. Then we come over here to the drill press. I don't think I need to explain to you what we use drill presses for. And if you keep coming on around, here's my grinders. And down there is 2 foot pedals screwed to a board. A little paint cap there so I can put some stuff in there to help keep bits cool. That's what I use, is just an old paint cap. But yeah, I even got a little bar stool sitting here. I can sit in my bar stool and then sit right down here. I got a vise to my access. Grinders are right there. You know, easy access to grinding. Right behind me here is an old fishing tackle box that I put some grinding supplies in. And as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of grinding supplies. It actually does not take a lot. My square files are sitting there. There's the alcohol saw, which I am currently doing some work to. I will update you on that here very soon. And if we keep going over here, here is the magic, you know, the lathe that does almost all the machine work. This is my Dino Joe cutter. This is for doing chamber cutting that Dino Joe makes, and this is what I've been using to do all of my chamber cutting. And here we are on this side of the bench. You can see how I got this 2x4 here, holes drilled in it for screwdrivers and T-handles, some wrenches and so forth. Here's the Dalmar. You know, she's currently got the top end off of. We're looking to get a new piston for it so we can get to building on that. Here's the Craftsman. You haven't seen this in a little while. I've been kind of messing with this off and on. It is currently running on methanol, but something's a little off. So I'm currently trying to sort that out. I think the timing is too far advanced. See, the flywheel and the crankshaft are both kind of screwed up right off from day one, from brand new. So I have to set the timing the hard way. And I've been kind of playing with it, trying to get it tweaked to just the right spot. So you're gonna see some footage on this soon as I get her tweaked. But yes, she is running on methanol now. Now we can go on over here to more of the clutter. But this is where the chain grinder is sitting. You can see I got the wheel there for doing rakers. And then I got an assortment of wheels sitting up here that I can use for grinding on chain. And of course the air compressor that does all the magic. And then the lathe we're going to be working on. As soon as this shop's cleaned up, we're going to get to work on this lathe and get her back up and running. She got stuck in high gear, broke out the gears. So, you know, they're all stripped out. So I got to get in there and get those gears out. And there's no replacing the gears. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in low range and just kind of leave it. But I think I can get 3 gears out of it. So like a low, medium, medium, high. It's just the highest range gear that's busted. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of speeds we can get out of it. The only disadvantage with this lathe is the 4-jaw chuck, which I guess you could say is both an advantage and a disadvantage. So some work, you know, you need the 4-jaw chuck, and some work can be kind of a pain in the butt because it doesn't self-center. You have to do everything the hard way. So we'll see how that develops. And here's the shop from this view. You know, we've been working on cleaning her up, getting some stuff organized. You can see a little bit of trash piled up there. If you remember, couldn't see that 2x6. There was so much stuff piled in here that you couldn't even get through there. So I've been working on getting her cleaned up. So what do you say we get out there, give this 55 a run, give that 61 a run, and let's see how they perform. Do you think the 55 might be faster than the 61, or do you think the 61 is going to be faster than the 55? I mean, we are running 3/8 chain there, and we're running 3/25 chain there, so, you know, but I'm curious to see which one feels more powerful. You know what I mean? Because that 55 is running a lot more compression. So let's see how this develops. All right, there's the 55. Now let's see how the 61 does. So there's the 61. What did you think? Let me tell you what I think. So there you go. Both saws, both of them are an open transfer style of saw. The open transfers are not known to be the best performing, but we can definitely get them to perform half decent, I think. Now the open transfers, they do tend to kind of hold you back a little bit. It has to do with the way they flow. It's hard to get them to push into the upper RPM range the way you need them to. And getting them to push the torque into the upper RPM range is something that could be quite challenging, I think. But I like both saws. I don't know which one was faster. I'm fairly certain the 61 was faster. I'd say the 61 has a little bit more torque. It definitely pulls, you know, a 3/8 24-inch bar a lot better than the 55 would ever be able to do. But the 55, you know, the chain on that saw is extremely hungry. So when you hit the wood with it, it feels more like butter than anything. It's like trying to melt through the wood versus, like, you can tell this one's more of like cutting through the wood. That one's, it almost feels like it's melting through the wood, but it really, really pulls a lot of power out of the saw. So, you know, if that was running on a normal, like 23 RS chain, you would notice a difference in the cut, the way it performed. It would probably pull more RPM. The torque would be a little more noticeable. It's just the way that chain is. It is a square hand file, and it is extremely hungry. I actually prefer the way 23 RS performs over that square, just because of how forgiving the 23 RS is compared to that square. But, you know, I sharpened it up and I wanted to give it a try and, you know, see how that chain performs. And that's kind of, you know, just me kind of feeling things out and trying things and doing different experiments. But anyway, yeah, there's a little video on the two saws. It's a pretty standard setup on the 61. Just a little bit on the hungrier side. I normally run that on like a 70cc saw. And then the 55, that chain is about as hungry as I can make a square hand file on a 325 chain. So yeah, hey, a little bit of running on the two saws, and I hope you enjoyed this one. So we'll catch you in the next one. Later.